The day Leo and his idealized first love announced their engagement, I coolly submitted my resignation. Overnight, I vanished. Leo frantically dialed my unanswered number, hired private investigators, and even considered reporting me missing. But I was already in the beautiful city of Viridia, planning the bloom cycles for my garden and sipping a cocktail called Golden Dream at a bar in the evenings. Life was as lovely as a flower, comfortable and serene, until my little BB became a viral sensation. In an online article, Leo caught a glimpse of my blurred profile. That day, the rain poured down in sheets, and even in my courtyard that was like a perpetual spring, the flowers drooped. While Leo and Stella were celebrating their engagement, I was at home, listlessly typing out my resignation letter. That phrasing is too deliberate. Delete. My adoring subordinate, Zoe, called to vent on my behalf. Cora, Mr. Vance is getting engaged. And the bride isn't you. Thank you for the reminder. They're also saying you're about to be kicked out. You can't lose to that snake. I quickly corrected her. It's white moonlight, not a snake. A pure, beautiful, mesmerizing white moonlight. Everyone knew Stella was the white rose Leo could never get out of his head. Besides, I added, haven't I already been suspended? But you were framed. Hey. I interrupted her. If Leo didn't believe me, what did it matter if anyone else did? I went back to typing. Zoe had a thought. Cora, you're not really planning on leaving, are you? I nodded, forgetting she couldn't see me, and then murmured a soft, She became even more insistent. If you leave, you'll never clear your name. Are you going to throw away all your hard work? It's not worth it to act out of spite. I stared at my fingertips and quietly shook my head. Zoe didn't know. I wasn't acting out of spite. I truly wanted to leave. Ding. Sent. Successfully. My name is Cora. I grew up in an orphanage. I knew from a young age that I was different from other children. But it never made me sad. I was lucky. Other kids had a mom and dad. I had a matron who was my mother figure. She was the one who gave me my name. Other children were forced to learn painting or piano, with no freedom to choose. I was different. From a host of hobbies, I chose gardening. And through observation and playing in the dirt, I became self-taught. You could say I turned a hobby into a skill into a major. And while tending to my plants, I stumbled my way into agricultural college. Barring any accidents, my future was to be a happy little gardener. But then, an accident came along. Back then, Leo wasn't a CEO, just a cool, aloof young man. It was my fault, really. The forecast called for a heavy storm, and I rushed to the lab to close the windows, only to realize I'd forgotten my umbrella when the downpour began. Seeing no one around, I was about to make a dash for it when Leo walked by in the distance, holding an umbrella. Hey, can you give me a hand with your umbrella? I shouted at the top of my lungs. He glanced at me and ignored me completely. Just to the main road. You'd be saving my life. Perhaps my plea was so sincere it stirred his compassion, because he finally turned and walked toward me. The moment he saw me clearly, he faltered slightly, as if surprised. Was I so breathtakingly beautiful under the moonlight tonight? I doubted it, but who cared? Getting out of the rain was the priority. Where's your dorm? I'll walk you. Perfect. In the spirit of reciprocity, I pulled a small potted flower I had cultivated from my bag. Thanks. This is for you. Don't want it, the cool guy said curtly. I'm allergic. Well, so much for us getting along. You know that feeling when you meet someone and then start running into them everywhere. We gradually became familiar. And eventually, we saw each other every day. I learned that Leo was studying management at the prestigious business school next door and that his family was ridiculously wealthy. Of course. I also knew the reason he was so friendly with me was because of his white moonlight. Apparently, we looked very much alike. The first time Leo's friend met me, he had the same reaction. You look just like Stella. Oh, am I allowed to say that? Who? Stella. Leo's childhood sweetheart. Pity she dumped him to go study piano abroad. He's probably never gotten over her. The clueless friend suddenly realized what Head said and stammered awkwardly. Don't take it personally. I was just saying. I waved it off. Good thing we were just friends. Later, Leo and I started spending more and more time together, getting closer and closer. Everyone thought we were a couple. Sometimes, I thought so too. I never asked him if I was a substitute. After so many years of gardening, I understood the wisdom of seizing the moment. Life was hard enough. Enjoying the present was my philosophy. When we graduated, he invited me to be his assistant. Well, looks like someone's going home to inherit a fortune. I figured I could tag along, enjoy the good life, and continue gardening in my spare time. Not a bad deal. From then on, he became Mr. Vance, and I became Assistant Cora. If I had to judge, I'd say Leo was good to me. It was like being a frog in slowly warming water. The more I saw him, the more I liked him, especially after he started accompanying me to the orphanage to visit my matron and the kids. I found him more and more agreeable. He would always pick up a sickly sweet milk tea for me from the shop downstairs, even though he disliked it. At my insistence, he would sit in tiny, hole-in-the-wall restaurants, watching me eat with greasy lips before disdainfully handing me a stack of napkins. It was fine. He thought I wasn't ladylike enough. I thought he was boring and had no zest for life. After 2 weeks of overtime, I complained bitterly, cursing the evils of capitalism. This time, Leo was quick on the uptake. I'll give you a raise. But sometimes, I really wanted to punch him. For movie night, I'd pick a comedy. He'd pick an art house film. I'd suggest a romance. And he'd say, "You wouldn't understand." His ringtone was a classical piano piece. I told him it lacked the energy of a man in his 20s. He'd just say, "You wouldn't understand." Worse. For my birthday, he gave me a vinyl record of Claire de Lune. I stormed up to him. "Leo, it's my birthday, and you're pulling this on me," he grandly proclaimed. "If you don't understand, you should listen more." I had been so happy to receive a gift, only to be shocked when I opened it. What kind of a move was that? I didn't understand Claire de Lune, but I certainly understood how to hold his head underwater to clear his mind. He didn't understand this, didn't understand that. Who was the one who didn't understand? Not me. I understood perfectly. He was still thinking about her. It wasn't a big deal. Everyone has a white moonlight they can't get over. My doctor friend once said, "The unobtainable is always in motion." But my matron also said, "Trade sincerity for sincerity. If you want something, you have to fight for it." Since Leo was my boyfriend now, I decided I would be good to him. Even better, so he wouldn't have time to think about Stella. When Leo took over a subsidiary, he was so busy he often forgot to eat. So, I became his supervisor. I'd plan his meals for the next day, changing the menu constantly. I couldn't guarantee deliciousness, but they were always nutritious. This became my most important task after work. Sometimes Leo had business dinners, and I went at every single one. I could block some drinks for him, or kick him under the table when he was about to have too much. At the very least, if he got drunk, I could prepare a glass of honey water. If nothing else, my tolerance for alcohol got better and better. At first, Leo would refuse, but later, maybe the atmosphere was too lively, he forgot, and stopped saying anything. If it weren't for the time I drank until my stomach ached, I would have thought I was a genius at holding my liquor. We were an invincible pair. Until one time, we both drank too much. Our gazes lingered. Our hair tangled. Maybe my brain short-circuited. At such a critical moment, I asked him, "Leo, who am I?" Leo must have been truly drunk. He looked at me, confused. Then, as if he had just recognized me, he pushed me away. "I'm sorry, Cora. Take tomorrow off to rest." Well, the man I almost had got away. And well, the question I'd been holding back finally came out. For the next few days, we weren't alone together. I waited for him to come and apologize, to explain, but I don't know what he was waiting for. That clueless man. I could have a cold war with Leo, but work was work. That was my principle. After days of catching up, everyone was exhausted. When Leo unexpectedly announced no overtime, my colleague with families and social lives packed up and rushed home. I, on the other hand, had only myself to feed. With nothing better to do, I decided to take advantage of the overtime pay. They all left. "Why are you still here?" The voice was familiar. It was Leo's talkative, clueless friend. "What are you doing here?" "He's not here. He said he had something to do." I crunched on my chips and continued watching my show. "I know. We're throwing a party for Stella tonight. I just stopped by to pick up his gift." The fool spoke without thinking, dropping a bomb without any warning. So Stella was back. So that was Leo's something to do. Why didn't he tell me? How could he not tell me? Stella was back. She came back with her pride and Leo's love. Stella was clearly aware of my existence, but paid me no mind. The first time she came to see Leo and saw me, she smiled sweetly. I heard back when I was abroad that Leo had hired an assistant who looked just like me. I knew it was you the moment I saw you. You really do look so much like me. People might think we're sisters. Too bad I'm an only child. What about you? Do you have siblings? Do they look like you too? Oh, right. I heard you studied horticulture. Next time the flowers in my yard need tending, I'll be sure to ask for your help. I had to laugh. No problem. I'm great with flowers. And my rates are reasonable. I'll even give you a discount, miss. Next time you come, I'll give you a plant. An elegant and pure white lily. It would suit you perfectly. Be sure to ask me for it. Stella was furious. Don't you dare be sarcastic. What good is being good with flowers? Leo is allergic. But he loves to hear me play the piano. He attends every one of my concerts. Can you do that? I shook my head. I can't. But neither piano playing nor gardening is superior to the other. The only difference is that you do it to please Leo. And I do it to please myself. What's the use of saying all that? You think I don't know you like Leo. But he loves me. You're just his assistant. Before I could even speak, she cut me off with a sneer. I've asked him about your relationship several times. He has never once said you were his girlfriend. Stella walked away with her head held high. She certainly had the capital for it. Was I not Leo's girlfriend? No wonder he had been so passive. Never initiating. Never refusing. No wonder I never got an explanation. He had never even acknowledged me. How ridiculous. It was all just a fool's paradise. A beautiful dream turned to dust. I wasn't even acting like myself anymore. This wasn't right. I don't know what Stella told Leo. That afternoon, he sought me out. Don't say those strange things to Stella. She'll get the wrong idea. What an irritating couple. Work continued. But Leo never sought me out alone again. Stella, however, frequently came to show off. She poured out the coffee I made in front of me, calling it cheap. Fine. One less task for me every day. Stella heard that I used to bring Leo homemade meals and pestered him until he agreed she should have some too. Unable to refuse her, Leo came to me and asked if I could bring an extra portion the next day. I nearly rolled my eyes into the back of my head. So I was just a prop in their little love drama. Sure. 100 per portion. No negotiation. Minimum order of 2. Deal. What did I ever see in him? A fool with more money than sense. That night, I loaded the food with cilantro and hautuinia. I didn't know if Stella would eat it, but I knew for sure Leo wouldn't. Stella had taken my assistant duties, taken Leo, and now she wanted my little flower pot. Well, flower pot was an understatement, since it never even held a flower. This time, Stella pointed at the empty little ceramic pot next to my computer. This little pot is quite unique. You're not using it. Assistant Cora, why don't you just give it to me? Of course. I refused. It wasn't just that I disliked this woman. I had made this pot myself. Leo and I had made it together. He had roughly shaped the clay, and I had meticulously sculpted it. After it was fired, I spent 2 weekends carefully painting it, layer by layer. I wasn't willing, which made Stella even more determined to have it. In the midst of the argument, Leo arrived. Leo, I think Assistant Cora's little pot is so lovely, but she's so possessive of it. She won't even let me look. Can you talk to her? Stella tugged on his sleeve, her eyes challenging me. Leo seemed embarrassed and gently pulled his sleeve back, but he didn't want to upset Stella. Assistant Cora. Stella rarely takes an interest in something. Could you? He paused. Even for a man as thick-skinned as Leo, the words "give her the pot" seemed to be too much. Maybe you could just send her a link. Let her pick one out herself. At his words, Stella's face changed. So did mine. Leo was truly a genius, managing to offend everyone with a single sentence. That clueless man. He couldn't see that his white moonlight wasn't interested in the pot but in asserting her dominance. And he had completely forgotten that this was something we had made together. Assistant Cora. Stella. The difference in intimacy was clear. He knew nothing and had never cared. What was I even fighting for? It was pointless. This pot is dirty and cracked. It's not suitable for Miss Stella. I casually tossed it into the trash. As for the link, it's long gone. If you like it so much, Mr. Vance. You can find one yourself. Another unpleasant parting. This kind of meaningless confrontation brought me no joy. They say flowers are unfeeling, but people have emotions. I disagreed. Flowers were far more lovable. After that, Stella left me alone for a while, and I was happy for the peace. But the good days didn't last. The bid our subsidiary had worked on for over a month fell through. Others might not have known, but I knew this shouldn't have happened. We had schmoozed, toasted, and laughed with them. How could we have been blindsided at the last minute? Cora, get in here. Even though Leo had been in a foul mood lately, he would never use that tone with me. I had a very bad feeling. Cora, I'm going to ask you seriously. Did you, or did you not, leak our bid price? I snapped my head up, a chill running through me. The man who had walked by my side for so long was now suspecting me of betraying the company. Assistant Cora, I never thought you would be the type to bite the hand that feeds you. Of course. She was everywhere. I have never, to anyone outside this company. Before I could finish, Stella interrupted with a sarcastic tone. But I heard the leak came from an account with a little flower as the profile picture. Isn't that you? I took a deep breath, telling myself not to argue with an idiot and to focus on solving the problem. You heard. Where did you hear that? Miss Stella, aren't you overstepping your bounds? Leo's face immediately darkened. That's enough. Cora, you have no right to speak to Stella that way. If it weren't for Mr. Zhang's connections through Stella's uncle, do you think they would have even considered us the right? How laughable. Leo was lecturing me about rights because of some supposed connection. I have no right. While you two were throwing a welcome party for her, I was working overtime crunching the numbers. I have no right. I clenched my fists. So what? Am I supposed to be grateful that he let me take the fall? I'll ask you one thing. Do you believe me or not? Anyone else could disbelieve me, but not Leo. I stared at him, searching for a hint of doubt, a shred of trust. There was none. See for yourself. He slid his phone across the desk. On the screen was an anonymous message showing my profile picture transferring a data file. I was so angry I laughed. If you believe a cheap trick like this, then I was wrong about you. Beauty truly is a curse. Ever since Stella returned, Leo had been acting like a brainless fool. Cora, Leo is already being generous by not questioning you in public. You should just. Seeing them act like a devoted couple made me sick. With a slam, I threw open the door to his office. Mr. Vance, I don't need your generosity, whether I did it or not. You may not know, but I do. I was suspended. It was a decision Leo made based on the evidence and company policy. Impartial, fair, and just. Good. Very good. Leo was responsible to everyone, except me. I had been slaving away for him since graduation and hadn't had a life of my own in a long time. Being suspended was actually quite nice, especially not having to witness their lovey-dovey act. The only problem was Zoe, who constantly bombarded me with frontline news. Cora, you should have seen it. For the past 2 weeks, that woman has been acting like she owns the place, ordering us around. I think she should just do the work herself. But she did one good thing today. She's having a concert. So Mr. Vance finally gave us the day off. Too much free time leads to overthinking. I started thinking about the past again. About my birthday, when I had asked him to spend it with me, only to be rejected because he was too busy with work. My phone vibrated, pulling me back to the present. Assistant Cora, tonight is my concert. You may not want to come, but I heard Leo is planning to propose to me on stage. I still wanted to invite you to share in our happiness. How malicious. Fine. I'll go. I told myself. A wake-up call for the part of me that had strayed. My matron always told me that admitting and correcting a mistake is the greatest virtue. I was wrong. I was willing to change. That day, I attended Stella's concert on time. From a lonely corner, I watched my first love end along with Leo's proposal. I spent a long time that day reflecting on my failed relationship and finally came to a conclusion. I was fine, but Leo wasn't worth it. Let that maddening pair go to hell. To hell with Assistant Cora. I swore I would never be anyone's assistant again. It was such an unlucky title. Besides, I had never even had a true love of my own. Having figured this out, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. While my mind was clear and my emotions stable, I stayed up all night to write my final masterpiece for the company resignation letter. It went from rambling to eloquent. to scathing. And finally, I magnanimously wished Leo and the company well, and wished him and Stella a long and happy life together. The next day at work, everyone but me had witnessed their happiness. Leo, with Stella on his arm, went from office to office, handing out wedding candy. When they passed our assistant's office, Stella, clinging to him, said with perfect consideration, "If only Assistant Cora were still here. She would have helped us arrange everything. And you could relax a little. Maybe you shouldn't suspend her." Leo placed a piece of candy on my desk, turned, and patted her hand. "All right, as you wish. Well, let this matter drop. I won't pursue whether it was her or not." Zoe, standing nearby, looked like she wanted to say something, finally catching his attention. She fumbled for her words before blurting out, "Cora has already resigned. Didn't you know, Mr. Vance?" The cheerful office suddenly fell silent. The sound of leather shoes on the floor was jarringly loud. "Cora is playing games now. Is she throwing a tantrum? If word of this gets out, how will she survive in this industry? Zoe, ask her if she really wants to quit." After a moment of stunned silence, Leo snapped, "Let her," and slammed the door on his way out. A sense of when the lips are gone, the teeth are cold fell over the junior assistants. They probably never expected that I, the softest of soft targets for Leo, would finally harden up. A few of the young women exchanged nervous glances, waiting until the enemy was safely out of range before whispering. Cora really had it rough. She was so good to him, only to be dragged down by this mess. I know, right? She drank until she had a stomach ulcer for that bit, and now she's being suspected. It's not worth it. A stomach ulcer. Who has a stomach ulcer? Cora. Leo had doubled back, not expecting to hear this. The young woman jumped, immediately standing up and pulling a few bottles of medicine from my drawer. "Mr. Vance, it's Cora. She's still taking stomach medicine." Leo was stunned. He knew how I'd gotten sick. It was from all the business dinners with him. Back then, he had asked if I felt sick after drinking so much. I had handed him his lunchbox and teased him nonchalantly. "You think everyone is like you, getting dizzy from the smell of flowers and wine. I can drink you under the table. You're the one who needs to be careful." Leo's face turned even paler. He looked almost lost. Stella, seeing he hadn't returned, came looking for him. He quickly composed himself, his face returning to its usual stoic mask. See, even knowing I was on the verge of collapse from dedication, the moment Stella called, he was gone. I don't know whether to pity myself more, or him. The only reason I know all this is because Zoe's desire to share is simply unstoppable. It had been several days since my resignation, and Leo had not graced me with any reaction. But I no longer cared. I heard that Stella still couldn't stand the sight of anything related to me and had Zoe completely clear out my desk. I heard that Leo walked past that empty desk every day without stopping. Until one day, he saw that annoying little flower pot again. Zoe, ever observant, said, "Mr. Vance, that's the pot Cora left behind. She threw it away, but I thought it was nice, so I rescued it." It was the same dusty, plain little pot. Perhaps because its owner had abandoned it, a crack had appeared on its side. Stella, thinking a cracked pot was bad luck, was about to throw it away again but was stopped by Leo. "Give it to me." Perhaps out of a habit of defending me, Zoe didn't immediately comply. "Mr. Vance, Cora made this herself. She's already resigned. You should let the pot go too." Her words hit him like a hammer. All the color drained from his face. He didn't reply, just snatched the pot, murmuring, "She made it herself." As if remembering something, he ran his fingers over every inch of the pot, inside and out, finally finding what he was looking for on the inside of the handle: our initials. "What else did she leave you?" he asked, his eyes red. "Her playbook. It's full of her personal notes and reminders. Would you like to see it?" Leo took the notebook I had filled, page by page, and returned to his office to read it in silence. From his preferences and dislikes, to how to coordinate his schedule, to what kind of project proposals would win his approval, Leo discovered that I knew him better than he knew himself. But now, I had thrown it all away. The next time Zoe contacted me, it was 2 years later. I had already made a home for myself in the beautiful city of Viridia. This city of eternal spring and endless flowers was where I belonged. I always felt guilty about Zoe. When I left, I didn't say goodbye to anyone, including her, but I truly missed her. After all these years of being alone, it was rare to have such a thoughtful friend. Talking about my sudden departure, we both felt a sense of melancholy. She brought up a name I had almost forgotten. Leo. She said he had nearly lost his mind. He tried everything, dialing my unanswered number over and over, rushing to my apartment only to find it empty. He even went to my matron, only to discover I had been ruthless enough not to tell even her. Finally, out of options, he hired private investigators, filed a police report, did everything he could. But I never appeared. That was the first time I ever saw him look so lost. He would just stare at your empty desk for ages. He threw himself into his work, and then used every spare moment to look for you. He wouldn't let Stella touch any of your things. Cora, I think you won. Did I win? Not really, because I had invested my own heart in it too. But talking about it now was meaningless, because I no longer loved him. Life in Viridia was truly wonderful. I opened a small BB here. It had a little courtyard filled with flowers. Almost every guest took a photo in front of my massive flower wall. I also loved the city's enchanting nights. She was like a gentle, mysterious woman who healed my heart and my stomach. Over the past 2 years, I had become good friends with the bartender, Finn. Wherever there was a new creation, you would find me. Cora, my dear, come. I saw a girl on social media today who looks just like you. And she's from your old city too. What a coincidence. Finn was excited, quickly pulling up the account he had just followed. It was Stella. Of course. What a coincidence indeed. I had just been talking to Zoe about Leo, and now Stella's account appears. You know, her wedding planning diary is quite interesting. Look at you. You look so similar. And she's about to get married. You should really get a move on. So they were getting married. That was good. That was how the story was supposed to end. Similar looks don't mean similar lives. I snapped out of it and teased him back. Well, that's because you won't have me. You have to take responsibility for me. Get out of here. Don't you dare have any improper thoughts about me. We're just sisters. Before Finn could finish, he slammed his hand on the table, drawing stares from everyone around. Oh my God. Cora, I'm sure of it. This is you. You're trending. That's the age of social media for you. You can become a part of someone else's story at any moment. My little courtyard had gone viral. The reason? It was simply too beautiful. I'm not just boasting. That was the straightforward reason. Trending along with my flower wall was a blurry half-profile of my face. I have to say, a casual shot by a famous photographer really has atmosphere. Before I could even feel smug, Zoe's call came through. Cora, did you see it? The most beautiful BB. Leo is already on his way. I can't save you. You're on your own. That girl. What could I do? Let him come. This was my home. I wasn't running. I wasn't the one who did wrong back then. I shouldn't have run. The next morning, Leo arrived. I had imagined our reunion many times, but I never thought it would be so calm. He didn't even have his luggage. Just stood at the gate of my courtyard. He was dusty and unshaven, looking utterly exhausted. Maybe this was the popular uncle look these days. His eyes were red as he stared at me. It's been a long time. Cora. He had called my name in so many tones before. Indifferent, intimate, helpless, confused, angry. This was the first time it sounded so full of gritted teeth. Why did you leave without a word? I figured since he was on my turf. He was a guest. Long time no see. Come in for a cup of tea. He stood stubbornly. Why didn't you contact me for 2 years? Who gave you permission to leave? The audacity of this man. 2 years later. And he still didn't get it. Come in or don't. Just don't touch my flowers. I won't be responsible if you have an allergic reaction. I turned and walked inside. You ask me why I left. If I hadn't, would I still be taking the fall for you too? If I hadn't left, could I have survived in the industry? Didn't you know I love gardening? What did I get for giving up my true passion? Your ridicule, suspicion, and indifference. Did you ever care if I was happy? Never. I wasn't myself anymore. If I didn't leave, I would have just kept losing my passion for life. I had to leave. Leo reached out anxiously, but I dodged him. I'm sorry, Cora. I know you were wronged, but it's not that I didn't believe you. I just didn't have any evidence at the time. I had to be accountable to everyone. I sneered. So it was okay to sacrifice me. He didn't speak. because he couldn't refute it. After a long silence, he took a small box from his bag. Inside were two identical small ceramic pots. I recognized one of them immediately as my old flower pot. Cora, I've kept this for the past 2 years. We made it together. It was my fault for not recognizing it back then. His voice grew quieter. It cracked after it was dropped. I went back to the old studio and made a new one. Can you accept it? He looked at me, his eyes full of regret and pleading. I took the pot from his hand. Okay. At my word. Joy flooded his face. He stepped forward and grabbed my arm. Cora, then will you come back with me? I pulled my sleeve from his tight grip and shook my head firmly. Leo, we are over. I'm only taking this pot because it was always mine. It did nothing wrong, and I happen to have a use for it. He spoke frantically. No, Cora, we're not over. I was wrong before, but I do like you. I know you. There's nothing to be sorry about. Liking you back then was my choice, and I don't regret it. But now, I've moved on and started a new life. That is also my choice, and I don't regret it either. I cut him off. You should go back. Stella is still waiting for you. She's waited for you for many years. Don't let her down. That's not it. Cora, after you left, Stella and I had a long talk. We had confused our feelings. The person I truly like has always been you. We're not getting married. It's just that our family's businesses are too intertwined right now. Please give me a chance. Now that I've found you, I will resolve everything as quickly as possible. I want to build a home with you. I was stunned. If he had shown even a hint of me being in his future 2 years ago, our ending would have been different. But what's missed is missed. I did long for a family, for warmth, but not a warmth I couldn't hold on to. Leo, don't be so stubborn. You just can't accept that I was the one who left. You just don't believe that I truly love you. The pain in his eyes was palpable. It's my fault. I brought this on myself. Finally, with a bitter laugh, you won't get rid of me, whether you believe me or not. I'm going back to handle things now. I'll be back on the weekend. Miss, save a room for me. I'll pay. With that, he turned and stormed out, as if in a huff. I didn't stop him. Leo's brief visit didn't change my life in any way. This realization brought me great relief. It's not that I'm afraid of trouble, but my life now is just too free, too comfortable. I have no desire to complicate it. The next time he came, Finn happened to be in my courtyard, waxing lyrical about his new creation. Fleeting dream. Who is he? The moment Leo saw Finn, his face darkened. Well, and who are you? Causing trouble for my dear Cora. Before I could speak, Finn had his hands on his hips, blocking Leo. He turned, slung an arm around my shoulders, and whispered in my ear, trying to stir up trouble. Something's going on here. Cora, spill the tea. Leo yanked Finn's arm off me. Tell him to leave. I need to talk to you. Oh, so a handsome man like me is an eyesore, is he? I'm leaving. Finn winked at me as he walked away. I gave him a perfunctory wave, and the world was finally quiet. Cora, I know you're upset about what happened before. I've looked into it, and it was Stella, wasn't it? Leo was stunned. You knew? I smiled faintly. Of course. I knew. There are no such coincidences in the world. Leo, ask yourself honestly. Did you really not know? You just didn't want to admit it was her. Otherwise, in 2 years, with so many opportunities, how did you manage to find out so quickly this time? He didn't argue, just rushed to explain. Cora, I've already broken off the engagement with her. There won't be anyone else between us, and no more misunderstandings. I shook my head. Leo, don't try to guilt-trip me. You didn't break up with her for me. You did it because she hurt your company, because she betrayed you, because she wasn't worthy of you, because you no longer had feelings for each other. It was not because of me. Perhaps my words were too blunt. His face turned shades of red and purple. Cora, I don't deny I was wrong before, but am willing to change everything you mentioned. You said you don't want to leave here, so I'll come to you. I can open a branch office here, transfer my business, as long as you're willing to wait for me. He gripped my hand urgently. I'm not willing. Leo, don't you understand? I'm not willing to wait for you anymore. Following in your footsteps is too tiring, and waiting for you is too lonely. I don't want either. I tilted my head, shielding my eyes from the sun with my hand, just as I had when I was younger, and asked him with narrowed eyes, Do you know what my name means? He didn't speak. You don't, do you? Cora is just a simple name, but I like to think of it as a core strong and self-contained. I'm not a grand tree, and I don't want to be a vine that clings to one. So, let's just let it go. As for opening a branch office here, don't be foolish. You know better than I do that it's not realistic. Are you going to give up your resources, your connections, the foundation of your company? The more I said, the darker his face became. He looked like he was about to cry. I can start all over again with those things, but I only want you. I still shook my head firmly. To look forward to the sunrise, to have thoughts at sunset, to have something to hope for, to be busy but not lost. This is the life I want. But it's not something he can give me. I really don't blame him anymore. There's no right or wrong in young love. Besides, I gained more than just the relationship. Leo left. This time, I walked him to the gate. Before he left, I had him take a small succulent, planted in the little pot we had made together. The little flower I couldn't give him when we first met was finally given. I'm sure I'll meet someone in the future who is willing to cherish this little flower. But it won't be Leo. Goodbye to my first love. For real this time. Finn was waiting outside the courtyard. Leo walked past him without stopping. Finn rushed in, grabbing me. Who was that? An old flame. I sighed. Yes, yes. The ex-fiance of that lady you followed online. Finn's jaw nearly hit the floor. He gave me a thumb up. Nice one, my friend. A substitute romance. All action. No words. Beautifully done. You know, that Finn has a sharp eye. He looked so dejected when he left. Did you heartless killer, break his heart again? I slapped his pointing finger away. You talk too much. He's got a clever mind. Even if one part is wounded, he still has plenty left. Later, Leo never came to see me again, but he would often send me messages. He said he was taking good care of the little succulent I gave him. He said he would run the company well. He said he would visit my matron and the kids regularly. He said he would always wait for me, but I never replied. Of course, I didn't go out of my way to remove him from my holiday and BB promotional mass messages. I think, when Cora finally finds her good fate, I will send him an invitation. Oh, enough of that. Finn is pestering me for gossip again. I have a story. Do you have the wine? Tonight's drinks are on me.